Hello, beautiful, lovely gamers. My name is Jonal. Let's take a look at Sinatra's GENJI versus South Korea in the World Cup. And before we take a look at specifically Sinatraa, let's take a look at general team USA and how they played this part of Nepal, because it's very interesting. Normally, what you would see for South Korea, and what you do see for South Korea, is they play this very meta-focused team composition. They play Sigma, they play Orisa, right? They play Doomfist and Reaper, right? This very kind of meta-focused, meaning like the team composition that most teams very hard focus on, right? Is this double, Reaper, Doomfist, right, with the double shield. Very common to see. USA does this a little bit different, and this is one of the reasons that I believe that the US got such a little upper edge against South Korea. They are swapping this up. They're playing GENJI, they're playing Sinatraa, they're playing Reinhardt, they're playing Sigma, they're playing Lucio and Moira. That's like their team composition, which on paper, most people believe that just, okay, Bunker, this double shield beats the Ryan comp, and you will see the way that they played in Team USA, that is not the case. So let's quickly just go on a breakdown first on how the Team USA works. And of course, before I start this video, a like on the video helps against YouTube's abusive algorithms. And of course, if you wanna rank up and get better at the game, doesn't matter if you're bronze, top 100, if you play for a team or not, you can hit me up on a Discord server to hire me as your private coach. It's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. As long as you can get a vote to me, I can help you rank up and get way better at the game. So I hope I see you there. Now, let's talk about this. So what you will see from, again, the Reinhardt here is just a placeholder, and the Orisa here is just a placeholder for the different teams, right? So what you will see here is immediately, and if you notice how this map is kind of built out, there are three kind of easy choke points. On King of the Hill maps, if both teams play the Sinatraa teleporter with the Lucio amp speed and so on, they will get approximately 50% of the map here, right? That's why normally a lot of teams know that the bunker can be way stronger, because if the bunker can play from here, they can normally and the death ball gets stuck on their 50% mark, right? They get stuck around here, right? They get engaged here. Then normally the bunker with the Reaper and with the Doomfist will quickly be able to take majority of map control for them, right? Imagine you have a Doomfist that's constantly punching in, and you can't really move against it. You have a Reaper that can also punch in here. You can engage very easily. You can off angle with the Sigma, right? It's very difficult for you to do anything about it. And even if you rush from here, you will drain a lot of your resources just in the engage. Fortify comes up, right? Sigma starts shielding, Sigma starts eating, there comes a ruck out to CC the Rhine, right? All of a sudden, you're quickly pushed back. Your Reinhardt is quickly low, and you're surrounded by these DPS heroes, right? And at that point, the Genji won't be able to do anything. And that's why the United States plays it as they do. What they do is, as soon as South Korea is here, and the United States, immediately you see the Reinhardt charge and take this. They immediately take more of the map than what South Korea controls. And from there, they're playing it out. Right now, it's a different story. Corey can put turrets over here with his Sinatraa, start building up the turret, right? And immediately now, USA has control over the left side of the map. All of a sudden, this is their part of the map. They have point control, meaning if they want to, they can just back off to the point. There's no way South Korea will push past it, and South Korea is now trapped in this choke point. They will be forced to rotate, either to try to brawl it out, which they might be able to do, or what they will do, they will be forced to rotate. They can either rotate two ways, right? They can rotate over and try to go through kitchens, which again, the United States will have high control. So then they will be caught here and can quickly be engaged on, right? Allowing the United States to, again, not let the bunker keep its distance, or they will be forced to rotate under and take one of the two sides, where, again, the United States can either engage directly from here, or only if the United States, of course, have resources to do so, or they can set up on the point, which they will do, and play from the point, again, forcing them to push past the Sinatraa. That will slowly but surely be building up a beam, putting out turrets, right, pushing past the Reinhardt. You have a Genji with you that can quickly assassinate. And let's look a little bit about why the Genji pick is done. This team composition also built very much for ultimates. Shatter, which is quick to build if you're playing aggressive, which Super is an insane Reinhardt. And building up that Shatter very quickly and having that to win team fights. You have a Genji, which can very quickly build up a Dragon Blade, or at least relatively quickly, which is also very important. These are two team fighting winning ultimates, and that's all they want. If they lose with this team composition, they know they can swap back over to a bunker. And this is not that they're gonna brute force the team composition on the map. They know that they have a really good Orisa Sigma comp with Sinatraa, which arguably one of, if not the best Doomfist in the world. He can play with that, no problem. But that's not the point. The point is that they wanted this shock factor to win as much percentage as they can, win as many team fights as they can by just committing ultimates, just throwing ultimates at them, building them fast, winning in the first fight of shock factor, getting it to 99% if possible, swap up and then start playing a comp that is easier to attack with while the bunker is defending. Now let's take a look at how Sinatraa plays this, because he's a very key part. Remember, if you play in South Korea, the Genji can consistently and easily burn 80 damage of your health in a blink of an eye. It doesn't matter how many barriers you have up. You can have 85,000 barriers. There's no charge up time. There's no way of dodging this. Dash in a melee, it's 80 damage, that's your health. Immediately bursted. That's without shurikens after that, and that's without being able, that's if there's enough barriers in front of you, that you won't be able to hit a shuriken on the engage, right? Imagine that you can also get a Moira with that, if the Moira flies towards you, right, which can be additional damage. So quickly, if you have like 100 health, or 100 health, 150 health, you know, you can very quickly get bursted by the Genji player, which is really, really good. On top of that, you get some angles, you get the Dragon Blade, and that's very, very important. And we'll notice this. Even even that the Genji will struggle. Now, one of the things that you will notice here, because they do the quick teleport, and they will actually keep their Reaper. One of the things that I want to point out is this. Can you notice how far back the Orisa is compared to the team comp? And it's actually because when Carpe, who also did the teleporter, he placed his teleporter, swapped the Reaper and teleported, he swapped too early, so mana didn't get through the teleporter. Now this could have, of course, changed the outcome, allowing the Orisa to take the exact same point, like space, as the Sigma would have had, like approximately here, as, again, the Team USA got through here, right? Then you would have had a Orisa here as well. However, you can also very quickly argue for it wouldn't really matter. It would, of course, allow South Korea to fight this. But there's a very big chance, and I really do rest on the fact that if South Korea tried to fight here, they would very quickly be pushed back due to the turrets, the high charge to the Metro, the Genji that can very quickly burst, the Ryan that is smacking, there's two shield with both the Ryan and Space, putting up their stuff, and you still have speed boost, you still have Moira heals. I don't think that they would have made a difference. I saw some people commenting on that. That was what lost them the fight. I don't think so. I still think that Team USA would easily have managed to do this on his own. So, let's just watch for Genji. He pops the flight, dashes here and immediately burns Badosin. Doesn't manage to get the kill, which is very, very sad. But again, dashing just the pressure, just getting that pressure in. Quickly kind of looks down, takes back up again, right? Tracks the corner beautifully. And just watching Sinatra's mechanics is insane. Like, notice these just, I just love watching this. And I'm probably really crazy for just wanting to watch this. Just notice his camera movement. Just notice how quickly he can just snap, snap, snap. Right? Check, check, check. Like, really fast, precise, just snapping onto the corners. They immediately take the point. Sinatraa can't off-angle. It's very difficult for him to off-angle. If he takes a high ground, if he takes one of the high grounds, which is what Genji really like to do, right? He would very much like to play up here, right? That's like the Genji thing to do. You're very easily pushed down by both Carpet, by both Architect. You're very easily pulled. You're very easily shot at by the Sigma, and the Moira can deal with you, right? So he's gonna rotate to the point with his team, playing around his team, and he's gonna take a very steep angle here with his Reinhardt, right? As Space angles from his right side, the Ryan is on the left side, and then you have the Genji behind the Ryan here, very, very sharp in on the left side, able to deal pressure without taking too much poke, right? So he's still playing with the principle of not taking too much damage, so he can quickly engage and burst without, also be very effective with his right click, kind of bypass some of the shields. He's still off-angling without actually leaving the objective, which is really, really nice positioning. He goes in here, he dashes, tries to get a kill. They get the Sigma, giving him the dash resets. He's kind of poking away, just looking for opportunity, right? And notice now where Carpe is. Carpe has already flanked around, which is good play for Carpe, right? Allowing his, putting in a Reaper on the backline, forcing resources from the United States back towards Carpe, pulling either attention, either where if South Korea had the resources to engage this with speed, with Fortify, right? And then Carpe can make ham in the backline, or even just forcing pressure backwards towards Carpet to get him off. Since he's a Reaper, you need multiple people on him so he doesn't get a kill, dealing a lot of damage, forcing down some health, forcing attention away from South Korea, allowing maybe an opening for South Korea to push back in. But because Sinatraa and Super being such aggressive players and just being so good at their craft with Corey, they will not allow this. They will immediately stop playing aggressive. They see that he is low. Immediately as Sinatraa engages Mano and they try to put resources on him, you can see that the United States follow back on, kills him, and now all of a sudden, this position that Carpe had took, all of a sudden doesn't matter anymore. He's actually out of position as he cannot join the team fight before later. They get a couple of kills. Sinatraa just chaining kills up, just playing this. Oh, I just love watching his mechanics. It's so fucking good. Right, just chasing, building a little bit ultra, right? Sinatraa wants that blade fast, right? That's kind of one of the big things. Notice again also the Moira's ultimate shot. Notice the ult bank first, right? South Korea has no DPS ulters. They're like 44%. He's like 32 on Manos, right? The Sigma immediately swelled up to Hammond, and so he's 0. But Dozin has his Coalescence and also Raucous. Those are like the 2 ultimates. Because one of the big reasons that you do pick them are, right, and we see this more and more in pro play, and we've seen this for a very long time now, is because all other ultimates build very, very slowly, but not Coalescence. You can build a Coalescence fairly quickly. So having that gives a very big advantage in the next fight. That's also why you saw in the beginning of the fight, both Moira teleported, took the amp speed, faded, and threw damage orb in the very beginning of the fight to try to get ult shots to get an advantage. Because a team that gets the Coalescence first can normally sway the tide of battle. Which is really, really interesting. But Super also have a shatter because he's playing Rhyme, because he's allowed to be so aggressive with the help of Space and Raucous and Moth and the Sinatraa and Corey helping him. He's allowed to be so aggressive. He's swinging through the shield. They don't matter that they have shield. Corey is melting them. Sinatra's going past them. Super is smacking through them. So it doesn't really matter that they have that many shields, because they can just deal damage through them. And it's just a beautiful team composition to see. And you can see how quickly this caught South Korea off guard, and how well the United States know their playstyle. One of the important things a lot of teams doesn't do, they think, oh, my hero counters this hero, but notice that they are now thinking a lot about playstyle. They're engaging really fast. They're using the teleport in clever ways like this, where they teleport Super behind South Korea. This is one of the mistakes that I actually noticed Sinatraa doing, which I don't like. I do believe what have happened here is that the plan was that as soon as South Korea came through this gate, that they want to amp speed onto them, right? Fight them here in the choke, don't allow them to rotate, don't allow the DPSs any space to let them through the choke point. Let's fight them here where the turrets are, right? They will have to look up to break the turrets real quickly like they do now. Won't be able to focus that much on the engage. We engage quickly. So Sinatraa ran down mid here, right? Where this is an issue, right? Because you can notice the positioning compared to the Sinatraa, compared to the opposing team. And if I just turn this down, notice again how quickly this will shift, right? They try to rotate with the fade, right? They do get the Reaper with the shatter, but Sinatraa is not able to follow up in there. He's not able to shoot over here, even though there's a sun. He's not able to follow up at all on this shatter that Super gets. And he's caught kind of between these 2 players, which he can't do anything about, and where he's caught between 2 shields and nothing to shoot at and very few things to dash at. If he had played on the high ground, right, then this would have been way different. He would, from this position, where you see both Super and also Moth playing, notice how much more access they have. They have access to the shadow people, they have access to the support line, they have access to the Reaper, they can follow up on this. So this, and at that point, there's a much larger player base on the left side of the map. These 2 people that are stuck in the choke is now split up from the team. You can quickly wipe 4 and then wipe 2. So this is like one of the few things, but I do believe this is because of miscommunication from the team US. Of course, I don't have the voice comms, because he ran straight down mid. He just ran straight at them, most likely because he was expecting their Super to also do the same thing with a heavy engage. So he wanted to follow up very fast and build his blade. Let's continue the team fight here, and what, right? He's just going to, Doomfist is going to do, he's going to try to do a little bit of follow-up. Again, notice, this is very difficult for him to play in. He's just trying to build blade, but he has to, like, run past a lot of people. There's a Coalescent coming through, has to dodge Architect, and he has to burn a dash on this, so he doesn't have dash now, and he dies because of it, which is unfortunate. They're still going to win this fairly easy, right? And again, just know the coordination of Team US, right? There's a pin that comes out from Super, and immediately we start seeing follow-up coming from Team US, right? Running like just Space just running and just popping his eat, so he can just eat as much damage as he can for Super, and Super is back up to another shatter right now, right? Now finally Mano has gotten his ultimate, but still Carpe is only 54%. Sinatraa already have a blade, Corey already have a wall, Super have another shatter, Space have his, right? South Korea Sigma has 42%. Mano has one of his ultimates, and that's it, right? The only one that's really been like going a little bit ahead is the support of South Korea has sometimes been managed to get ahead of the United States, and that might just be because they're taking so much more damage than the United States, which again is just a show of force of how good this team composition is playing out, and how good this playstyle is playing out for the Team US. Now they have a very big ult bang they can just use to dominate, and they will not be shy using it. This is actually also a really good play this is a very, very good play for South Korea. They're kind of baiting them by putting one guy in main, then pushing the rest of it through kitchen, right? So they're coming up here, right? Even though it doesn't really matter, they're going to be very quick. Sinatra's going to blade here, and he's actually going to die. Even though I like the blade that he's doing, his blade is, I actually like it a lot because the way that he positioned himself later in this. So he dashes up here, right? Pulls the blade, sound barriers come out, right? Bungo comes out, which is really unfortunate. He pops the flag tier to stay alive, and now he doesn't disengage further back. Either because he's thinking that he's going to get more heals than he is. I actually didn't check this, but let's see where Ruckus is while we're at this. So Ruckus is here now, right? And this is most likely the issue, that when Ruckus is over here and Sinatraa is here, Sinatra's not getting the heals that he was expecting. He was expecting that he could brute force with his blade. But notice that he still didn't burn his dash. He didn't waste his dash. He could disengage it with the dash he wanted to. If an opportunity was somehow arise, then he could immediately have dashed to that target and use the blade. He didn't do it. He engaged, saw the stuff, disengaged with the flag behind his tank, expected healing. Ruckus was on a different angle and couldn't heal enough. Got him killed. Also because a little bit of focus fire, but it was still a really good blade, right? It was actually still a really good blade the way that he played this out, right? Corey going ham with his Sinatraa, just dealing all damage. And again, notice that how many ultimate Team USA burned. They burned their Coalescence, they burned their Sigma, they burned their Shadow, the Dragon Blade, and their Sinatraa Wall. They burned 5 ultimates to South Korea's 3 ultimates, right? But that doesn't matter. Committing with this amount of ultimate, doing that, South Korea just burned 3 ultimate and got nothing out of it. While the United States burned 5, but because South Korea burned 2, they really only wasted 2, because they did 3 to 3, and then they burned 2 more. So they only kind of wasted 2. Used the 2 ultimates to get the advantage, winning this, putting this to 85%, forced the next 5% South Korea to commit with all the rest of the ultimates that they have, which will be both DPS ultimates, will be forced out. And so Sinatra's now going to force, gonna make himself swap over to Nyank, right? Because he knows it's gonna be a rush, it's gonna be a thing, and he knows that there's no way he's getting another blade from this. And if this goes to hell, he's most likely gonna swap over to his Doomfist. So again, Corey's putting up his turret, being irritating. The Reaper does touch with Wraithform just barely. He's still guarding this left side, which is really, really good. Putting off the trap, managing somehow to not kill Architect in the trap as he ults out of it, but still really, really good, right? Right now, Sinatra's denied both ultimate. Forced out Architect's ultimate really early, and also forced Carpet back from not doing that flank that he absolutely wants to. And really good play. Like, South Korea's playing this really good. Like, Carpet is playing really, really well, really playing the game sense of the Reaper really well. It's just not getting any value out of it. And as soon as Corey dies, this starts to kind of collapse. They use Flux, they use Death Blossom, they use all their ultimates, and this kills Team USA. It's still a really good push, and now you see, now the United States is like, oh, okay, it's fine. We got 99% of this. Let's now swap it around. And Sinatraa was like 73% this time, right? Talk about a beast, right? Now they're swapping over to a more traditional comp. They have the Coalescence almost suited up. They're halfway to space this ultimate, and this looks actually pretty good. Now we'll see more of this, like just really good play from the United States. He's going to slam here. He's actually going to go in, stun. The United States playing super aggressively and following up on that counter punch that he did. Sinatraa, I am 99% sure Sinatraa did this intentionally. Wanted to counter punch on this engage to get him down so they could immediately kill him, getting a kill, and then disengaging himself out without leaving the fight. Notice again that he did not leave the fight here. He engaged, disengaged, up in the air so he doesn't die, up into the air, and then he slams here. He's behind his shield, he's with his team, he can still follow up, he didn't go out, he's still in the fight with his team, plenty of health, getting healed, ready to fight. And he helps focus down, he helps focus down the Orisa, helps focus down the Sigma because he's just waiting for cooldowns, just punching around, again chaining back in. Notice how active this guy is. He's burning all his ability to escape and then engage and then escape and then engage, dancing around, but he's not going so far. He's not fishing right now. He's brawling with his team, immediately went into the fight, getting point control, and now he's just playing to here. And I do not believe South Korea touches. They do not, and they win. And this is just like one of those things that you just see. The way that the United States won this, the way they played, it was just beautiful. The engages, the aggressiveness from the Team USA, the team composition, building up ultimates fast, burning them, not giving 2 fucks, just getting it to 99%. Forcing ultimates out of South Korea that they're not winning on. And Sinatraa actually played it really good. The 2 times that they died was, again, as I do believe, due to miscommunication. One was because of Reinhardt. He most likely thought the Reinhardt was going to get engaged directly on them, not shatter far over to the left side, and then being far over there and the fight being over that part of the map. That kind of put him in a wrong spot where he couldn't disengage because he needs to be active in the fight. And the other one was because he was playing with the blade very close to his team, was expecting healing for Rockets, which was on another angle, didn't get the healing that he was expecting and died because of that. There was 2 times that he died on that Genji. Besides that, he played it really good, applying pressure, looking for picks, playing around the team, looking at the situation, engaging, keeping pressure, and being really, really irritating. And this is like just one of those beautiful things. And that's without talking about his junk and without talking about how good he did it on his Doomfist, which of course he's one of the best Doomfists in the world. Really good game. Highly recommend that you watch it back. Either the Overwatch World View, which I did here, which you can get on the Blizzard launcher, or the Battle.net, I think it's called. Or you should go and rewatch the VOD on the Twitch stream. It's just an amazing game. So if you really want to watch some fun Overwatch, I highly recommend that. But that's all for today. A like on the video, of course, helps against the abusive YouTube algorithm. And as always, if you want to hire me as a private coach, it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Hit me up on Discord. Doesn't matter if you're bronze or top 500, what class you play, position, or anything that you play for a team or not. As long as you get a VOD to me, I can help you rank up, improve, and get better at the game. So hope I see you there. As always, guys, my name is Jonal. You guys stay positive. I love you guys very much. As always, keep your enemy in your crosshairs.